Hey everyone, welcome to episode 4 of Still Here, my marathon comeback. In this series, I have been taking you along on my journey as I train for and race my first postpartum marathon and first marathon in 3 years. However, I should have been racing the marathon today, and I'm not. That's because I got injured. So in this episode, I want to share about my injury, how it came about, and then talk about when and how I came to the decision to defer the marathon and what I'm going to be focusing on next. Let's jump in. About 4 weeks ago now, I was in my peak week of marathon training, and around Thursday of that week, I started feeling some knee pain during the first couple miles of my run. It would disappear and didn't bother me after like mile 2, so I didn't think too much of it. Did my 21-mile simulation run, which went so terribly, but it felt appropriate. Every simulation run I've ever done in my history of marathon training has gone terribly. I couldn't fuel after mile 12 because I had some major GI distress. And then I died a slow death towards the end of the run because I couldn't fuel. I was so proud of hitting this huge milestone of getting to 21 miles, my longest postpartum run, and I was so ready to taper. The next day, I went to the gym, did my strength session, and felt some pain during my squat. And I thought, that doesn't feel right. So a couple hours later, I go on my recovery run, and the pain does not go away for the entire run. And in fact, it stuck around for the rest of the day, and I had a low-grade throbbing, and I had pain when I would kneel down or squat down to do anything. So playing with Quentin, getting something out of a low cabinet was painful. Did some research and realized I have all of the symptoms of runner's knee. It is on the front of my kneecap, my right knee, and it's not swollen, so this has to be runner's knee. Generally, runner's knee is an overuse issue. So you ramp up mileage too quickly, you add too much intensity, and you get runner's knee. However, it can also be caused by weaknesses in your kinetic chain that cause your knee to not track properly. And that's what happened to me. So my initial thought is, I am so close to this. I'm so close to this goal. Maybe I can salvage it. What can I do to keep my forward momentum? So I get on the elliptigo. I do a ton of elliptigoing. And elliptigoing actually helped. The blood flow really helped to alleviate some of the pain that I was feeling. I also immediately went to ART, which I had not been doing, and that provided also immediate relief. So I wasn't experiencing any pain throughout the day anymore after I started doing that and stopped the running. Finally made it into PT to get evaluated, and there were quite a few things going on. Because I was a soccer player for 20 years, I would plant so frequently with my left foot that foot had all the stability, even though it was not as strong as my right side. Super stable on my left side. My right side lacked that stability, even though the muscle strength was there. And that lack of stability, especially postpartum, rebuilding muscles and connection and all of that stuff, it couldn't maintain what I was trying to do. So I'd likely had this problem for a long time and just had no idea. And pregnancy, postpartum, and this most recent buildup just brought that out. So about 10 days later, I attempt to run. The pain is there throughout the duration of the run. It's not there afterwards, but it is definitely there. And I think about how could I run 26.2 miles in this kind of pain? And I was doing this at my very easy pace, not racing it, right? Thinking, how could I race this marathon at the pace that I think I'm fit enough to do it? And then I go to PT again and I ask him, can I reasonably run this? And he said, you can run it. It's not going to cause permanent damage to your knee. I think you're going to be fine. However, it's just going to be very painful. Now, 26.2 miles is already a very long distance and an extremely painful experience, right? To go into it knowing that it would be painful from the very first step was something I didn't want to experience. I love running, but I do not love running in pain. Him telling me that really helped me kind of get a little bit closer to deferring. The next day I went out and did another short run, and the pain was there, and it was there after. So squatting down to pick up my kid again was painful. That's where I realized, one, I don't want to have such a long recovery after this marathon that I'm not able to run. Two, I need to have my body function for my everyday life and not be in pain for everyday things that I need to do. That was when I realized I didn't want to do this to myself. I want to maintain my love of running, and I want to run another marathon again. Running a marathon in a lot of pain would have probably created such a horrible experience for me that I might not want to run another one again. And it wasn't worth it to me. So I decided to defer. as soon as I did, I felt immediate relief. I knew that it was the right decision. I had been putting so much stress on and time into elliptigoing and going to ART appointments and going to PT appointments that I was so stressed out during the taper when you should be calming down and relaxing more and getting more rest. And it was the best decision for me. So what I'm going to be working on next is all the PT exercises. I have been doing about 35 minutes a day of PT exercises, and they are hard. I'm so exhausted afterwards. It's a lot of single leg bridges, a lot of banded clamshells to get my glutes to fire appropriately and get my neuromuscular connection working on my right side, and to even things out in my body so that I get more stability and am able to run the way I want to again. I am still running. I have been able to run about 7 to 10 miles a week, and it seems like nothing compared to what I was doing, but it's bringing me joy, and I am happy to be able to run pain-free. The pain is not there. However, I still feel discomfort in my knee, so I know that I still have a lot of work to do, and it just doesn't feel completely right. So keeping things very easy right now and just trying to maintain a running base while I work really, really hard on the strength stuff. And in my mind, injuries are just there to point out our weaknesses so that we can get stronger. So I am really trying to look at it through this positive lens. And obviously this has been a couple of weeks of processing, so I am not as devastated at this point that I had to defer this marathon after working so hard for 10 plus weeks to get here. And I have been able to really focus on this opportunity to get stronger so that when I do come back to the marathon again, I am that much better and capable of achieving my goal. And my hope with sharing this is that it encourages other people who are maybe in the similar situation or who have been injured or who are injured right now to realize that you have the chance to get stronger and to improve. My immediate thoughts were, man, I should just give up. Maybe running isn't for me anymore. I love this thing so much, but it really doesn't love me back. But that's not true. It is just a chance to be better. So I'm focusing on that, focusing on the PT work. I don't have any races on the calendar until CIM in December. It was my deferral from 2020, and that was my last marathon, and it will have been 4 years ago. So my primary goal is to get to that training cycle healthy and ready to train hard, because I really want to finish a marathon again. So the series will be coming back once I am ready to train again, and I so appreciate you all being here and supporting me through this. Please make sure that you're subscribed for future videos, and thanks for watching.